Vocabulary acquisition is one of the most important parts of language learning, and it's something that's very easy to get behind on. Luckily, now that we're in the digital age, there are programs that can help you with your vocabulary acquisition by making smart flashcards. And so in this presentation, I'm going to talk about one of these programs called Anki, the symbol for which you can see on this slide. So flashcards are something that you're probably familiar with. However, there are some flashcards that are better than others. If we look at these 6 examples of flashcards, you can see the first one has farah written in English letters and then chicken on the other side. Second one has it written in Arabic. The third one has it written in Arabic with the vowels. But all of these have it with the English translation underneath. And this is something that you actually want to avoid, particularly in 101 where you're not learning very abstract concepts, because when you have the English word, you have to go from the Arabic word to the English word to the concept. Whereas if you look at the pictures below that have an actual picture in them, you just go straight from the Arabic word to the concept. So you're no longer taking such a long step. And this is something that's really easy to do with digital flashcards. Also, if you look, you'll see that where they have a little audio symbol, here we can click on it and play it. You hear the word. So that's something even better that you can also do with digital flashcards. And then finally, if we look at this last card, which is the best example of a card, you can see that it has the picture. So again, you're going from the phrase, in this case, to the picture. We've got the audio we can listen to. Okay, and we've got a phrase. So it puts these words, farah, wa abyad, wa iswad, in context for you. And that actually makes it easier to remember. It's a theory of second language acquisition called construction grammar, or chunking, that you remember things in chunks often before you're actually able to analyze them linguistically. And so Anki is a SRS digital flashcard program, and SRS stands for Spaced Repetition System, which essentially means that it trains you on what you forget the most. So probably you remember farah pretty well, having just seen the flashcards for it, but you might not remember shagara so well, or gharib, or these other vocabulary words. It supports audio and images, which are very important for making a clear association with the concept in the world rather than the English word. It supports multiple sides, so you can enter all kinds of information onto these cards. And this allows you to make multiple types of cards easily. So you can make one that had the audio on the front and the picture on the back, no writing whatsoever. Make it that had the writing and then the writing with the vowels, short vowels. And instead of having to make different cards and rewrite this information every time, Anki will rearrange it for you, and also it goes anywhere. It's a free app you can download to your computer. You can purchase an app to use on your smartphone, or you can use it on the web for free, including on your smartphone. So if you have a few minutes before class, you can start reviewing your vocabulary. If you're riding the bus, if you're waiting for someone, a few minutes can really take you a long way. And so to look closer at the spaced repetition system, here's an example, a screenshot from Anki. Basically, the idea is the more you know the word, the less you review it. So if you look at the bottom of the screen here, you'll see that you can click again, good, and easy. If you click easy, you won't see that word for 4 days. When you see it in 4 days, if you click easy again, you might see it in 8 days, and then a month, and then several months. But if you forget the word a lot, then you see it more. So you could also click again here if you don't remember it, and then you'll see it again in this review session. If you keep doing that, it'll keep coming up. It supports audio and images, so here you can see where in the first picture I'm entering a picture in and a sound, and then when I go to review it, I would get the front of my flashcard to show up here, and then when I click on the show answer part, I'll get the picture, it written with the voweling, and I'll get to listen to it. So this is, again, very important for putting things in context. It's also good for optimizing new information. So it's never a very good idea to try to cram vocabulary for a language, even if you have a test the next day. It's much better to do a little bit every day. So what Anki does, it limits the number of new cards you can see per day. It limits the number of reviews you can do per day. You can even set it to limit the number of minutes per review session. So you don't need to spend half an hour and an hour reviewing this every day. 5 or 10 minutes every single day will get you much farther and will save you a lot of frustrated cramming in the end. So the first thing you want to do is download Anki onto your computer. And you can do this from this website right here, Anki, srs.net. You go to it, over here where it has the download, you choose the release you want, depending on your system. And the one thing that is important is make sure that you use Anki 2. So the 2.00, you want that. Once you've downloaded it, you can open it on your computer here. So you can see I've already got one deck in here. And I have 2 pre-made decks for you on WebCT. If you go to WebCT, when you open it up, click on Anki Decks, you'll see Arabic 101 EGT, which is the vocabulary through Unit 6, and Arabic 101 expressions, which are some of the expressions we used. If you look over here, you can see that I've already added the 101 EGT deck, so I'm going to show you how to add the expressions deck, and it's the same format for both of them. So you click on Import File, and here I have this on my desktop. Down here you want to make sure you choose Packaged Anki Deck. Okay, so here you can see here's my expressions deck. I'm going to choose that and then open it. I'm going to add it to my collection rather than replacing it. And so there we go. Now I have these expressions. You can see if I click on either one of them and then Steady Now, I get the audio, I get the phrase, and then when I click on Show Answer, I can get a picture, حبيبتي بتحب السفر, where you can see it with the voweling down here. And again, you can rearrange these pieces of information if you like. This is just one type of card. I'm going to say this was easy and go on.
صاحبتي اسمها جسا.
Again, I get the picture and then I get it with the voweling after I hear it. If you want it to replay, you can click replay audio down here.
صاحبتي اسمها جسا.
And that's a good way to hear it and then while you're reading it at the same time. So that's basically how you review. And if we go back to the decks, you'll see that it also tells you how many cards are due that day and how many new cards there are. Once you've imported the decks, there's also lots of things you can do. Remember I said it had multiple sides and card types, so you can see this is for the expressions. So up here it says type expressions, fields cards. I can enter in the phrase, the response, a picture if I wanted, audio for the phrase, audio for the response, it with the vowel, and a translation, which you'll notice I have in here. That's if you get desperate, but it didn't appear in the cards. So you don't have to put all the information you enter in the cards, just the stuff that's helpful. And as I said earlier, you really want to try to avoid the English translations. You can have different card types. So here you'll see I have card 1, and if we look up at the front template, this is what shows up on the front of the card. I decided to have the phrase and the audio. On the back side, I see what was on the front, and then I have the picture and it written with it voweled. And here's the preview over here. If I decided I wanted another type of card, maybe I want card 2, and I just want the picture on the front, and then on the back I'm going to put the audio and the phrase and the vowel. So that way I see the picture and I have to come up with a word myself. And again, you can make all different types of cards like this based on what you feel works best for you learning. So here we're going to add some cards. I'll go back to Anki. So I'm going to go into my vocabulary deck and I'm going to click add. So up here you can see I chose the type vocabulary. I have some other types here. This is the expressions one if I want to add an expression, but we'll stay with vocabulary for now. And I'm going to add one of the words from chapter 7, صفحة. Okay, and let's see. I want to add it as a phrase, remember, not as a single word, so I'm not just going to type صفحة. I'm going to type it in a phrase. So صفحة من الكتاب. And then I need a picture. A really easy way to get pictures is to go to Google Images. So we'll go to type it in here. You can try your whole phrase, or you can just try parts of it to see what you get. I like this picture, so I'm going to click on it, copy it, paste it. Then the audio. If you'd like, you can upload a file by clicking on this little paperclip here, or you can record yourself, which is what I'm going to do right now. So I click on record. Comes up that it's recording. صفحة من الكتاب.
صفحة من الكتاب.
As you can see, it replays it back to you. And now I'm going to type it in voweled. صفحة من الكتاب. Type in the translation. And now I'll add it to my deck. So that's how you add a card. You should go ahead and add all of the vocabulary from Units 7 and 8, since that's what we're up to now. I can close it. And then if you want to see the cards you've added, or just look through all of your cards, if you click on Browse, this will show you your whole collection, okay, everything, what you added today. So you see صفحة من الكتاب, any of these various categories. The next most important thing is the fact that Anki goes everywhere. As I said, there's a computer app, there's Anki Web, and there's mobile apps. So we're going to talk about those now. Let's look at Anki Web. We go back here, you can see this is Anki Web. So you go to https://ankiweb.net. And what's very important, since there's two versions, you want to make sure that you see this sign down here that says the site is for Anki 2. If you use the old version, it won't work. So you can sign up for an account by clicking here. Since I'm a returning user, I'm going to sign in. So there you can see my deck, and I can click on it to study. You can see I get the same thing. I get the phrase, it plays the audio, I can click show answer, and I get the picture and it with vowels. So this is a really easy way to study anywhere, basically anywhere that you have internet, you can do this. And again, I click good, that's it. Get another one. And there's my Kitab Arabi. So you can also, if you click on more here, you'll see that there's a simple review interface for cell phones. So if you have a cell phone that has internet, but it's not that quick, you can click on this review face and it'll help you out. Now, once you've set up your account, the reason that I was able to review it is because I had my deck uploaded from Anki Desktop. So I'll show you how to do that now. If you go here, what you're going to do is click on this icon here, and it'll come up and say account is required in order to keep your collection synchronized. So then you just enter your information, and then your password, hit OK, and it will sync. And you might get this the first time that you upload. If you just entered the information on the desktop, like I did, you can choose to just upload to Anki Web, and that will copy everything you entered on the desktop app up to your Anki Web app. If you've made changes more recently on the Anki Web app, then you'll want to download from Anki Web. So here I'm going to choose upload to Anki Web, and that will match my desktop with my decks here. And so then if you go back to Anki Web, you can refresh, and now you'll see that it matches. The other thing you can do on Anki Web or on regular Anki is you can click on shared decks. So here, if you click Get Shared here, it will take you to the internet, shared decks. You can click on Arabic. Okay, and you'll see there's lots here. However, you need to remember what I talked about in the beginning of this presentation, that not all flashcards are created equal. If they're using transliteration, i.e. not writing in Arabic, writing in English letters, or if they're using translation, you know that they're not as good, and this isn't the type of flashcard that you want to use for studying. So keep that in mind when you download or look at these shared decks. And again, you get the same thing if you click on Get Shared Decks here. It'll take you to popular categories, click on Arabic. It's the same thing, just use these decks with caution, even if they have lots of stars here. We've only talked about a few things in this presentation. So it can produce questions that require you to type the answer. There's a cramming mode. You can find all of this information at this website, http://ankisrs.net. That's the one that we originally started on, where you downloaded Anki from, right here. I can tell you all about it if you go to documentation, or if you click here for the newly released 2.0 version. So that's the end of this brief introduction to Anki. I encourage you all to explore it further and to use it for learning and retaining your vocabulary, which is one of the most important parts of language learning, and really just 5 or 10 minutes every day using this program will take you much farther than you can imagine.